Hi everyone, welcome back. We are back with our syllabus. So we are going to see the part 1 of our teaching aptitude. Let's start with our syllabus. So what does mean by teaching? What do you mean by teaching? You have an idea, everyone has an idea of teaching. What is mean by teaching? Yeah, good. Let's see the topics and the syllabus of NDA new syllabus. What are the topics in the teaching aptitude? And what we are going to taught you in the teaching aptitude. These are the important topics and you will get 1 mark from each topics. So now we are going to learn nature, adjectives and characteristics and the teacher's role in teaching and the levels of teaching and what are the definition teachings. So first, what do you mean by teaching? So teaching concept, there are two concepts. First one is formal and the second one is informal. So we consider as informal what we are taught from our family members. So mom will taught you something and dad will taught you something and they doesn't have a procedure or anything else, but they taught you what is good and what is bad. So there is no procedure or formal scheduling for anything like that. So it is called an informal. It's an example of informal teaching. So when we go for formal, what we are getting in the institutions or organization, they have a proper scheduling, they'll have a proper degree and they have a time slot for each subject. So this kind of activities comes under formal. So what is a learning? So teaching and learning are most probably closely ones, but teaching cannot be possible without a process of what you are going to taught to everyone. So learning is always possible without teaching, but teaching is always a unique factor. So when we come for the learners, so the result of every teaching should be, it should produce an effective learners. So the teaching cannot be completed without learning. So according to the focus of teaching, we have categorized into 3 categories. First is cognitize, that is cognitive processing, and the second one is psychomotor process, and the third one is affective process. So when we go for cognitive, it is mainly related to knowledge. What do you mean by mainly related to knowledge? So mainly related to knowledge is basically based on your mind and intellectual view. It is giving you the idea what you are going to create it new, or it is based on the new ideas or what you are going to reconstruct with the previous ideas. So that is called as cognitive view, and it is basically reflects your what you say for a situation. It may be a response or your reactions. If somebody says, or if some accident happens, automatically if somebody is bringing the fingers to your eyes, you automatically closes your eyes. This means that the reaction and the response what you are providing in that situation to protect your eyes is called as cognitive process. So the cognitive process will make you or make teachers to identify your things. If something is present, if you think that you can have the example of this COVID-19, everyone knows it has been lockdown period. So even though we are in the lockdown period, we can able to survey our life. So we can't. We think we can't survey with without masks, without outside exposures and everything. But we can able to survey. Is it or not? Even though it is a COVID period 19, we are in the lockdown schedule. We can able to survey. What are the things we are thinking that we can't able to be without those things? We can able to be without those things. So these are the difference. So cognitive process will make things which is make us importance is not important now. So we can able to live without those things also. It just teaches us. So we can be or we cannot be with those things. So the second one is psychomotor. So what is psychomotor? So psychomotor is the skills which we get through teaching or through learning process. So what is meant by psychomotor? Psychomotor is just think of a carpenter Or think of yourself as an example for it. Once you are driving your bicycle, you have to make all your organs to work. Your eyes has to work. You have to see what is coming opposite to you. Your legs has to pedal the cycles, and your hands has to make changes in the brake, or you have to go. So everything what you are making your organs to work is called psychomotor. So mostly the psychomotor process is activated in the sports activities. So these processes are done through your physical exercises and physical activities. So maximum of the kids learn their rhymings, rhymes or any project or stories through the actions. So psychomotor plays a vital role in the action process. So next thing is affective process. What is affective process? Feelings and attitude. When somebody says, "I'll slap you," what's your feeling? If your boss or someone scold you, what's your attitude? If someone says, "You're worth for nothing," you automatically feel bad and you show your attitude. Sometimes you show it as positive, sometimes you show it as negative. So this attitude changes and feelings is considered as affective. So be clear with that. So cognitive is basically based on creation of new ideas or reconstruction of your ideas. Psychometric is basically making all the organs to work or to coordinate to form a work. And affective is basically based on the feelings and how you are feeling to the reaction and how you are taking it as positive or negative. So next, we have some definition of famous teaching authors. We'll proceed with that. And the next thing is objectives of teaching. What are the objectives of teaching? So what is the main objectives? So first thing is desire to change. So the ability of teaching should change the attitude of each and every student. So it has to change the what the students has to become. If some student says, "I have to become a research engineer," or someone else, a school teacher should motivate and make his desire to become true. And the second thing is you have to shape the discipline and behavior of the students. So you have to shape the behavior, how she has to behave with the parents or the society. You have to tell the students and you have to make them to realize it. The third thing is acquisition of knowledge. So acquisition of knowledge is nothing but he should able to learn from the atmosphere as well as from the environment. And the fourth thing is improving the learning skill. So some students may be weak, some students may be bright. So we have to make them to learn according from their levels. So we have to make the students to understand what we are trying to say and how they are taking it as. So next is formulation of belief. You have to make and you have to build a clear belief on the student that she can able to do all the things by her own. You have to make them to believe that she can able to do it. So you have to make them the confident and you have to provide the confidence to the students. She can able to attain everything. So the member of society, in spite of everything, is the main aspect is that we have to provide a person or a student who is very efficient and important person to the society. You have to give a good person to the society. This is the main objective of teaching. In spite of all other things, this is the main and important factor that we have to produce a good human being to this society. The next thing is nature of teaching. So the nature of teaching may be dynamic, social and human. There are lots of factors will affect the teaching. So the nature of the teaching may be from the earlier days it is Gurukula and they'll sit under the tree and they learn for something. Now it is online based. So everyone are at home because of this COVID. This social factor also affected everything but not the teaching. We are learning from the home, we are learning through the online. Even the human languages and everything will affect the teaching. So basically the students are from some other areas or location, but the teaching has a dynamic approach. So it can change according to the people and according to the area and according to the society. So this is the big strength of teaching. So teaching can change according to the era, period and what are time, location and even for the COVID-19 also. we have changed a lot because of this COVID. We are learning from online. Anything cannot be stopped without making it possible. So we can able to do it possible even we are at the home. So teaching can be both art and science. What is art and science? So some students are very creative and some students are very good in technical aspects. So we have to make it combine both the aspects of the students. We have to make it creatively and you have to make it technically also. So diverse of approach. So diverse of approach in application is the teaching may be in a university or a college. The students may not come from the same area. They are from different areas, from different language, from different religions, from different locations and the different ideas and their different attitude. But there is nothing to make anything different. So we are making it as a combined features to the students. So next thing is basics of teaching module. So we have two teaching module. First one is instructor-centered teaching and the learner-centered teaching. So what is instructor-centered teaching? So the main role here is the teacher. So she is the active person and the students or the listeners are the passive persons. So this type of model is called pedagogy model. And the second one is learner-centered teaching. So learner-centered teaching, students take the role of active and the teachers are passive. This is called andragogical model. So andragogical model is nothing but the students will have their ideas and their impact. They will try to implement. The students will do themselves, but the teachers just instruct them to do how to do and what they do have to do. The next thing is characteristics of teaching. So what are the characteristics of teaching? So first thing is system of action. So what is system of action? So system of action is what we are looking is called a system of action. The system of action has changed a lot based on physical and social conditions. If you are teaching to some physically child, we have to say make the physical aspects to make them to listen what we are trying to say. In the situation of social aspects like COVID or natural disasters, we have to change according to that. We have to change the syllabus and the way how we are teaching to them. And the second thing is professional activity. So professional activity is what we have say is we have to view the development of the students' personality. We have to make it regularly and make the arrangements for the students to learn their modules and make them to learn with the different strategies. Now we are using LMS classrooms. Now we are having interactive sessions and we are making it to learn it professionally. So the third thing is subjected to analysis and assessment. So once we are teaching to somebody else, the teacher should know how she is teaching. So we have to collect the feedback from the students or from anyone else who is analyzing her. So this feedback will make her to improve herself where she is weak and how she has to learn, teach and what are the drawbacks. We should not take this feedback as a negativity. We should take it as positively and we have to improve ourselves. This is the first thing, a main thing the teacher has to do. And the fourth one is interactive process. So interactive process is teaching is mainly an interactive process. It's not a one-way communication. It should be like a telephonic communication. Both the student as well as the teachers has to talk and have to discuss what are the topics going on and how they have to handle it. So interactive process is nothing but it's a communication skill. So teacher has to communicate with the student and the student has to clear his doubt or his clarification with the teachers and specialize the task. There should be a uniqueness. Every teachers or everyone is unique in nature. If I want to teach you, I have to tell you the real-time examples. It may help you in the future or may not. But this uniqueness and the way she adapts in the classroom and with the environment will make her a special one. And the collection of various modules is the final character. So the teacher is not only able to teach, you has to be good with the arts, culture and cultural activities and the instruction way of teaching and the formal way, informal way. She has to adapt the student as their as a small kid, he has to treat every collection of modules. So this may be development aspects and the formulation aspect, or in the informal aspects or information aspect. What are other things in spite of teaching our academic skill she has to develop to improve the career of a student. So next, levels of teaching. So as we said earlier, there are 3 levels of teaching. The first one is memory level teaching. We can have the examples of lower school students from LKG to 5th. They are from lower level. They are belonging to the memory level. This memory level is thoughtless teaching, so that student doesn't know anything. The teacher has to taught them everything. So here the teachers plays a vital role. So this theory was provided by Herbertin, theory of appreciation. And the second level is understanding level, what we call as thoughtful teaching. So this may be an example of students from 5th to 10th. They know somewhat, they have an idea how to do that, and they have what they can recollect what are they have getting got from the memory level. So this theory was provided by Morrison. And the third and final level is reflective level. This is the upper level, what we call as higher education. So this is provided by Hunt. So these can be categorized to 3 forms. Authoritarian. So authoritarian is what we call as memory level. So let's take an example of a website. So once you are logging into our website, we have a login page. Is it or not? Yeah, we have a login page. So once you are logging into it, you know nothing about the page or website or anything else. We just were instructed by our staffs or instructed by someone else to log in. So now we are having an online class. So everyone now using Google Meet or something else, they have to log in it. So they'll do what the teacher asked them to do, just to log in into the website. So that is called as authoritarian. So they are just logging in what the instructor said to them. So and the second thing is democratic. Once they are entered into the level, say they can know. So this is the process is going on. So our teachers instructed us. So we have to mute this, we have to mute the audio, we have to mute the video. Everything they are analyzing it. So they can able to recollect what the teachers has instructed in the previous level. And the third one is laissez-faire. So laissez-faire is nothing but the higher level is the higher education level. So this is called as reflective level. Here the students can able to create their own meetings, able to create their own assignment. Teachers will instruct them to provide their assignment or seminar. They can able to do. They can understand what is going on around them. Let me tell you a simple real-time example. Can we think of the 3 people? The first one doesn't know. 3 people are watching a match, cricket match. Just imagine. So the first person doesn't know what is the name of the game, and the second person knows what is the name of the game, and he doesn't know the technical aspects. And the third person is can able to play. So once you are going to thought for the first person who is not at all aware of what is the name of the game, you just taught them what is the game and what is the name of the game, who are playing. He can able to understand. And the second person is he knows the name of the game, but he doesn't know the technique. He can recollect what is the game and how many people are there. Everything he can collect. So you are going to teach them the technical aspects. And the third person is just a player. He knows, but he doesn't know how to use the technique, how to use the tactics. So you are going to tell them how to use the tactics and where to use and how it is possible for you to use. So these are the main aspects of teaching, and these are the 3 levels of teaching. I will have some important points in the memory level. So gramming. What is gramming? Can anyone guess? Yeah. Gramming is what we are doing, what we all did in our school days. Okay. So gramming is nothing but when we are going for an examination, what we'll do? We'll never prepare for the last 1 or 2 months. We'll never start to prepare in the previous days or something else. We'll make a preparation only by the night time. Overnight studies, what we call as overnight studies. We'll study by overnight and we're going to write our exam in the next day. So this is called cramming. Within a short period, they have to complete everything. So they don't have a luxurious time to clear everything. They'll have a short period of time. They have to present everything. They have to prepare everything. So memorization. So in this level, our students will do only one thing. The pre-KG kids, when you look at the pre-KG kids or students, they'll say what the teacher says. If they say chorus, they'll do the same thing. If you're repeating it for more than 10 to 20 times, they get memorized. So they doesn't know what is the meaning, what is the technique, what is the ideas. They'll just memorize and they'll write what are the teachers said to them and what they prepared. It is like bookborn stage. So then rote learning. Rote learning is nothing but learning through actions, learning through keywords, and learning through ideas what the teacher says. This is the replication time. So they'll replicate what the teacher says. So retain and reproduce. So they will retain what the teacher says. They will listen what the instructor asks them to do. They'll do what the teacher said, what they asked them to do. So they will gather everything and they'll vomit everything. That's it. They'll get everything as what the teachers instructed to do them, and they'll reproduce as such as it is as an hybrid variety. Once you are cloning a person or a tree, you'll get the same thing. In the same way, the students also do that. Once they are cloning by their faculties, they'll do the same thing and produces the same content to them. So the knowledge-based objectives, this is just like a knowledge-based objectives of Bloom's taxonomy. That is mean, what do you mean call, they'll recollect, they remember, they'll understood, they'll have an idea what the teacher said, they'll do whatever the instructors told to them to do. So, domination and authorization are by the teachers. Authorization by the teachers, what you called as, the main role here is the teacher. She is the active person and the students are a passive persons. They doesn't do anything. Only the teachers will take the responsibility of whatever things the students did. So here the evaluation system is basically oral, written and essay type. They will have the three types of evaluations. So the next thing is what we called as once you think the memory level students will have their own capacity or an idea to improve themselves, they don't have anything else, they'll do whatever the teacher says. So they don't have any improvement in the intellectual or they never increase their capacity. They'll just replicate what the teacher said. So memory level is the replication of teacher's impact. So next thing is understanding level. So understanding level, here they will build, they will have an idea of what to do and how to do. They'll think what we can do with this technique or idea. So understanding level is nothing but they'll focus mainly on the next level of their subject. If a student is focusing on computer science or else in the biology, they'll focus what they have to do. They will have a master. They'll have a master over the subject. They'll just wanted to have to update their knowledge over the subjects. So here they will able to develop their skill and their in-depth knowledge to the subject. So here the evaluation system may be the questions and the essay types. We don't have oral questions over here. Here the students can able to understand. Here the students can able to implement. Here the students can able to analyze what is the subject and they have an in-depth knowledge on the subjects. So here the students and the teachers will play an active role. So both the persons will have an active role here. Students also have an interactive with the staff and they can ask questions and they'll focus on both the activities. So next thing is reflective level. What we called as the higher level. Here the reflective level students will utilize both the understanding level and the memory level impacts. Here they can able to solve a problem. Let's take an example. Once you are completing your UG or PG, if you are going to the research level, what is the first step in the research level? First step, you have to analyze multiple topics and multiple areas. You have to have a research area. Once you are aware of your area, then you are going to analyze what is the specific topic here. Then you are analyzing the specific topic. Then you will have an in-depth learning, or you have to in-depth knowledge on the topic. Once you are getting into the knowledge, you have a problem. Let's see a real-time example. If you are in a situation that you have to clear your paper today and you don't have time and you have to make it possible, or you have to do something to write your exams, what you'll do? You'll analyze the problem. What are the defects? How you have to clear your exams, and what is the time slot between the exam and your preparation time. So you will analyze everything. You have to analyze your problem and you have to find a solution. If you are going to a shop or anything else nearby your area, you will do one thing. You will just analyze what is the distance and how we will be able to go and how many time it will take. You will analyze the problem and then you will find a solution. So in the same way, the reflective level, the students will think and they'll have a capacity to analyze the problem, and they need only one thing from the teacher. They need a support how to sort it out. They can able to sort. They just need an idea from you. They need a suggestion from you whether it is correct or not. They'll never ask you to do. You have to implement the ideas. They'll implement the ideas. They'll have everything. They'll have a capacity to solve the problem that they ask you whether it is correct or not. They need a person to suggest them. They need a person to help and support them. This is the reflective level. Here the students will play an active role and they are the primary persons here. And here the teachers will be in behind. When we see as a website or software, there is a front end and back end. Here the students will play a front end and the teachers will play a front end and the students will play a back end. Most of the time the teachers will play a back end and students will play a front end. But now it is not like that. The teacher will play a front end. They'll just display. They'll tell. They'll ask. They'll make them to understand. But the students will do the entire work. Okay? It's a problem-centered teaching. So reflective level teaching is also called as problem-centered teaching. So here each and every person has a right to ask, and every person has a right to display what they are designed, and a right to explain what they have an idea about the problem. So here the evaluation system may be essay type questions. So it is not a teacher centered or subject centered level. It's mainly a students or learner centered level. Okay. Thank you everyone for looking at our presentation patiently. We are happy to present you. We'll get back to you soon in the next session in the part 2. If you have any queries, please WhatsApp to us. Have a great day. Thank you. Thank you so much for your patience.